Hello, dear students. Let us have some idea about the sentiment, main sentiment, and the point of photograph. Sentiment is the feeling which remains there in a piece of writing, and there is always a special sentiment in a poem. Because a poem doesn't become a poem unless it has something to appeal to the human heart. So the sentiment is the special thing that makes a poetic composition different from other sorts of compositions. Now, what is the poetic sentiment in a photograph? The poetic sentiment is the sentiment of pathos. Pathos is the sentiment that is the sentiment of pain, sadness, sorrow. It is this word pathos that makes a thing pathetic, which is there in sympathy, which is there in empathy. So, the sentiment of pathos is there in a photograph. And how does this pathos, this sadness appear in the poem? This appears from the separation from the mother, rather the loss, separation because of the loss of mother, caused by the death of mother. The mother is not there. The mother has passed away. And so the poet Shirley Tolson feels very sad. She says that the line is about this circumstance, nothing is to be said. It's silence, silence says. The silence of death silences the poetess, and the poetess Shirley Tolson is not in a position to say anything more about that circumstance. Now she goes on moving towards this sentiment. First she says how once in the childhood how happy and sweet she was, and she had gone to the seashore with her two cousins, girl cousins. And the cardboard, the photograph preserved that memory of hers. And when she herself saw that photograph some 20-30 years later on, she herself felt the loss of her childhood. Though she laughed, but that laughter was wry, bitter with the sense of loss. So she had lost her childhood, and she holidays were the past of the mother, and she thought about that past and she felt sad. And when the cardboard is seen by the poetess remembers the laughter of her mother and thinks how her mother has passed away and how that laughter of her mother has become her own past. Her mother was sad, though she laughed, She felt certainly that bitterness of the loss of her childhood. And when the poetess says the cardboard, the photograph, she also feels the loss of her mother, and she remembers how her mother used to laugh seeing that photograph. Now, because of this loss, this sentiment is there, and in the entire poem it goes on being developed. The she has not changed. Even the non-living photograph is there. This is the significance of calling the photograph a cardboard, that it is there. The sea has not changed, but as the waves of the sea used to wash, as the waves had washed the footprints of those three girls who had gone there. So, in the tide of time, she has come, and she has gone. Now the time of tide flows like that ocean, but she, like those footprints, came and went. Short-lived was her life. Short-lived is anyone's life. Or when compared with the eternal flow of time, it is very short-lived, no matter how long it is. So she thinks about these things, and she feels sorry, and she remembers her mother, and she has written this poem.